I'm not gonna lie. I like this. I'm not gonna say this is LeBron James joining the Miami Heats, you know. I'm sure as hell not gonna say this is Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors, but this is a big piece. This might be True Holiday joining Boston Celtics, where you're only missing a couple of pieces and one difference maker. One difference maker might be the difference between a first round exit or potentially losing the second round to the Pacers or a championship. I like this. So the New York Knicks have acquired in a blockbuster trade Mikal Bridges right down the block from Brooklyn. By the way, Brooklyn Nets, burn that franchise. Y'all done. Y'all cooked. We sick and tired of y'all, bro.
I like this move by the New York Knicks. He's young, he's energetic, he's seasoned.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my video where we discussed Josh Giddey getting traded for Alex Caruso, I mentioned how it was the first major
Giddey got traded?
of the NBA offseason. That was a bit of an appetizer. That was satiating
Oh, wow.
appetite because, ladies and gentlemen, the very first entree is officially here.
We have a major blockbuster trade that's going to shake up the top of the Eastern Conference, and I'm so hyped about it.
So before we get to the content, we are on the grind to 1 million subscribers. It's the NBA draft tomorrow. We're dropping multiple uploads each and every day. Make sure to subscribe and turn on our notifications to help us hit 1 million. And now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro.
Look at the Knicks making moves, man. Okay, Tibbs. Okay, front office.
During the NBA trade deadline, there were some rumors that the Brooklyn Nets were interested in trading Mikal Bridges, but alas, they decided to back away from it. You remember when Shams said this?
And just taking us back 2 months ago, the Rockets called the Nets on Mikal Bridges, and I'm told they discussed the concept around Jalen Green and multiple first-round picks. That deal was not accepted by the Brooklyn Nets. That didn't progress anywhere. And now you're looking at it, it's a great problem for the Rockets to have. You have two burgeoning stars, I think, with Sengun, with Jalen Green, and they're both extension eligible this summer. They're both going to be in line for massive deals, potentially in extensions. But Jalen Green needs this space. Like this pace that they're playing with now, he needs it without Sengun in the lineup. So what do you do if you're the Rockets moving forward? Can these two guys coexist? Can they play with each other? How do their styles balance each other? They haven't figured it out yet.
It was crazy because there was consistent trade offers for Mikal Bridges, and the Brooklyn Nets were absolutely stuck. They have this incredible player that is averaging over 20 points per game, that is about to turn 28 years old, whose contract is set to expire at the conclusion of the 2026 season. Now, why would this be a problem? Well, there was no conceivable way for the Brooklyn Nets to compete at all whatsoever. It's impossible to compete whenever you have a max contract slot being taken up by this guy. The trade for Ben Simmons has set back the Brooklyn Nets so much that they're essentially stuck. You see, they don't have any of their first-round picks for the foreseeable future as a result of going all in on the James Harden trade. And they're not capable of competing for an NBA championship because one of their max contract slots is taken up by a guy that refuses to improve at the game of basketball and conveniently gets injured each and every season. And even when he's not injured, Ben Simmons looks like a shell of his former self. The Ben Simmons contract...
Y'all remember when Ben Simmons was coming into the league and people were drawing a lot of comparisons to LeBron? By saying like he was like a LeBron IQ type of player, bro. Like the past, 4 or 5 years of Ben Simmons' career like has gone just went kaput. This dude was like on the verge of being one of the faces of the league. Those first couple of years with Embiid, it was impressive. The 76ers, well, I believe the 76ers was like the 1 seed, if I'm not mistaken, the 1 or 2nd seed a couple of years ago, bro. And then just this happened. You know what I mean?
Is so terrible that it literally has the Brooklyn Nets trying to reconsider their future. They tried everything. They fired Jacques Vaughn because Mikal Bridges hated the offense. They tried...
Ben Simmons, side note, Ben Simmons might find himself out the league after his contract is done because everybody sees what's going on, bro. Everybody sees what's going on. This dude is not playing. He's collecting over $20 million a season, and you just kind of don't even know where his mindset is at. I can't give you a Ben Simmons highlight in Brooklyn, bro. I really can't. Since that trade, Harden has gone to the 76ers and he's gone to the Clippers. What have we seen Ben Simmons do at all?
to place a little bit more of an emphasis on Cam Thomas. But on top of that, they just made boneheaded decision after boneheaded decision. They turned down 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith. And Brooklyn Nets fans everywhere were wondering what the future of this franchise was going to look like. If you can't compete for a championship now, and you can't even tank because you don't have your own draft picks, how do you get yourself out of this mess? So what was the Brooklyn Nets solution to this problem? Well, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, the Brooklyn Nets have agreed to a trade with the New York Knicks. This trade would send forward Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic, 4 unprotected first-round picks, a protected first-round pick via the Milwaukee Bucks, an unprotected pick swap, and a second rounder. You might be wondering what the details of these picks are, and we have that for you here. Woj would tweet out that the Knicks are sending 4 unprotected picks in 2025, 2027, 2029, and 2031, a 2025 protected Milwaukee first, a 2028 unprotected pick swap, and a 2025 second round pick for Mikal Bridges, and a 2026 second round pick, sources tell ESPN. And by the way, the plot thickens. There's an additional trade that the Brooklyn Nets make here, which is indicative of what their plans are, and their trade partner is apparently trying to trade for Kevin Durant after this. So I know this sounds absurd. Let's talk about the first trade really quickly. Whenever you give up this amount of capital, it's pretty much indicating to the entire NBA that you believe that this trade will put you where you need to be in order to compete for a championship. And for the New York Knicks, given how their season went, that's not that bold of a claim. They were able to make this trade without giving up Julius Randle, but in this case, the New York Knicks clearly view Mikal Bridges as the missing piece to get them to the NBA Finals. The gap between the Boston Celtics and the rest of the Eastern Conference is significant, unfortunately. And in order to make up that ground for the team that Tom Thibodeau was once an assistant coach for, their New York Knicks need to be aggressive. And I feel like this is the right time for them to go all in. Mikal Bridges is a remarkable player. They built up his value just right. This past year, he averaged nearly 20 points per game and shot 37% from 3. He has an offensive box plus minus of a 0.7 and a defensive box plus minus of a negative 1.0.
That's all going to increase on a better team.
He was on a really bad team. When he was on Phoenix, that number was significantly more positive. Whenever you're trading for a star player that can move the needle for you, then obviously I'm going to give you a good grade for that. But in this particular case, you get a really good player on an undervalued contract. This is like Jalen Brunson 2.0 for the New York Knicks, which also gives them flexibility to bring back OG Anunoby if they make a couple of the right moves. For that particular reason, I give the New York Knicks an A-. The reason why it's not an A+ is I only give A+ whenever you absolutely fleece the opposing team. But it's a good trade nonetheless. It could be the trade that gets them to the NBA Finals, or it could be the trade that completely cripples the team for the foreseeable future. In the Brooklyn Nets case, it's a much easier trade to grade. I mean, I give them an A strictly because you really don't have much of a choice. You don't want to hold on to Mikal Bridges for too long, have another year go on in his contract, have him make it clear to you that he no longer wants to play on your team for the foreseeable future, all for him to walk away and get traded
nothing
for OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam got traded for. You wanted to beat the rumors out. And this is before we heard anything about Mikal Bridges potentially wanting to demand a trade. And believe me, bro, it seems like Mikal Bridges really wanted to team up with his old buddies. I mean, take a look at these pictures every time he saw Josh Hart. These dudes definitely talked about it so many times. And I give the Nets an A. As a matter of fact, I give them an A+, because if you take a look at what they gave up, going all the way back to the Kevin Durant trade, they got back 6 first-round picks, a second-round pick, Bojan Bogdanovic, Cam Johnson, and Noah Clowney, which was Phoenix's 2023 first-round pick, in return for KD. But the Nets weren't done here, and this is very indicative of what their future plans are. And it's honestly phenomenal that they're doing this, and it's kind of crazy that the Rockets are doing this too. So after reuniting Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, and Mikal Bridges, the 2015 to 2016 Villanova Wildcats that won the national championship that season, well, they decided to swing another trade with a very familiar partner, a partner that actually put them in the tough situation that they're currently in. Shortly after announcing that the Brooklyn Nets were trading Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks, Adrian Wojnarowski also announced that there's another massive deal. Brooklyn has a deal with the Houston Rockets to return the Nets' 2026 first-round pick for a 2027 Phoenix Suns first-round pick, sources tell ESPN. The Rockets also acquire the 2025 right to swap Houston/OKC's first-round pick for the Phoenix Suns 2025 first-round pick. More details are coming in on the picks deal, so this is pretty crazy because you don't typically see this, and this is as a result of us being in the new NBA. You might be wondering, why would the Houston Rockets do this? And Adrian Wojnarowski says it straight up. Houston wants to trade for Kevin Durant, and that becomes far easier if they can return the Suns picks that they gave up in the Durant deal to the Nets. Suns have said that they're keeping Durant for now, but that could change next season. But
I don't even know. Like, son, does KD only stay in Phoenix for a season? I mean, because at this point, let's call it what it is. Kevin Durant is a mercenary, right? He's a hired gun. You hire Kevin Durant to win a championship or to make your team over the top, and that's just like quintessentially what he is. He's not like a homegrown. I'm here to win it for my city. He's not like a hometown hero. Someone remind me where Kevin Durant is even from, bro. For a superstar of his magnitude to have bounced around the league, what is this like? We're potentially talking about a Hall of Famer's 5th NBA franchise? I don't think Kevin Durant should stay in the West, bro. I think he should go somewhere in the East. Because even if he goes on the Rockets, what are we talking? We're not talking championships. I'd go to the East, man.
Now, Houston has the picks to make the Suns whole again. And Brooklyn gets their picks back. So if they were to tank this season, they would at least have their pick back. So their tank could be worth it. So the Brooklyn Nets absolutely cooked here. Because at the very minimum, this team got itself out of purgatory. I mean, the last time I saw a trade like this was when the Los Angeles Lakers were able to trade away Russell Westbrook and bring in D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. Because that trade not only put the Lakers on the map, but it got them out of basketball hell. And this trade did get the Brooklyn Nets out of basketball hell. Now, Woj actually warns us, as intrigued as the Rockets have been about Kevin Durant, they're determined to use the Suns picks to be aggressive on deals elsewhere now. Sources tell ESPN. Phoenix has made it clear that they want to run it back with this group, and Houston is seeking a major upgrade now. It's so funny because it seems like the Phoenix Suns might be this decade's iteration of the 2013 Brooklyn Nets that, I don't know, literally gifted the draft picks that became Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown that resulted in the Boston Celtics winning a championship. The day of the NBA draft is going to be absolutely insane. I cannot wait for it to come. We already got our first huge blockbuster trade, but another trade that could happen is Paul George could potentially opt into his contract and demand a trade. A lot of people are saying it's going to be the Golden State Warriors. Or what about Karl Anthony Towns? The Minnesota Timberwolves can't afford to keep Cat and Rudy Gobert because it'll make them exceed the second tax apron, and Glenn Taylor has paid about $25 million of luxury tax throughout his entire career as an owner. I have videos breaking down both of those possibilities. I'll leave it in the end screen, and I'll meet you guys there. I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Listen, this is a move that the Knicks absolutely had to do considering the Boston Celtics won the championship. And let's be honest, everybody in the East are trying to build a team that's going to compete with the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics made this season of the NBA a cakewalk, bro. It's like everybody's playing on the rim and they're dealing with Fisher-Price rims. Everything was easy. I think they lost 18 games, lost 4 games in the playoffs total. Know what I mean? Gave away a game to the Mavericks just to make the finals respectable. Honestly, it was a gentleman's sweep. Boston made it look easy. So all these teams now are trying to gather up a big 4, a big 5 to be able to compete with these guys. And the Knicks are doing their part. Mikal Bridges, I didn't see that coming, but I like it. The Knicks, mind you, the second seed in the East just last year. You're adding a dude that averaged 20 points to the lineup? If you could get anything out of Julius Randle, if you could get a healthy season out of Julius Randle, now we're talking. You know what I mean? But I'm going to holler at you guys in the next video. This is New York Knicks made a huge blockbuster trade with the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, New York is staying together, man. That's what it's all about. I'm going to holler at you guys next video. Mamba out.